I also have two books in the pipeline by Imam Muhammad Saeed Ramadan al-Bouti. The first is The Approach to Human Civilization in the Qur'an. That book is done. It's on the brink of being printed. That book, again, because I was talking earlier about the waqf and what our civilization achieved, that book by Imam al-Bouti will really, I think, for the reader, that will put things in perspective for you to understand why things are the way they are, and how we understand that the world, I mean, to sum it up, what Imam al-Bouti says in this book, and he also says in the other book I'm doing is called Al-Insan wa Adalatullahi fil Ard, Man and Allah's Justice on Earth, and where he explains why you see the world the way it is and why you see people suffering. And because people ask this question, they say, well, why is so-and-so living a life of opulence and wealth, and so-and-so living a life of illness and disease, and so this person's suffering and this person's not? And he says, well, why are you assuming that this person's happy and this person's sad? Because tribulations are internal. Tribulation is what is felt in the heart. It's what's felt in the soul. It's not always the outward thing. Don't judge things by the outward. That's a main theme of that book. But what he brings across in both books is the fact that Muslims had a great civilization. And this is what undergirds things like waqf. This is what undergirds things like, you know, great educational institutions, great hospitals and so forth, is an attachment to the hereafter and an attachment to Allah. That's what undergirds everything. When you recognize who you are as a human being, that yes, you are Allah's slave, but at the same time you are an ennobled vicegerent on earth. You have an important role you have an important function to carry out in this life, but you are Allah's slave. What is your life? Your life is an exam, it's a test. It's like an exam at university or at school. It's very short, but it has repercussions, it has consequences. That's what your life is. It's very short. You don't know how long you're going to live, 50, 60, 70 years, maybe more, maybe less. But what you do in this life has everlasting consequences. And one of the things he makes point in that book, and this, again, it's connected to what I said about waqf. I think this is something important to bear in mind. This is why I think, inshallah, that you can get a copy of this book when it comes out, is he says that the nature of the world is that the world will always keep moving. The world will always keep moving and functioning. Never ever think that the Americans or the Chinese or whoever, that they're in charge because they have something over us, that they're doing something, right? That they're better than us, or they have some inherent superiority over us. No, they're doing it because we're not. That's what it is. Because he said the administration of the earth, the leadership of this earth, is like a scale. If one part goes down, the other part goes up inevitably. If Muslims neglect their duty and they forget who Allah is, and they forget their function, they forget their identity, they forget who they really are in the whole scheme of things, someone else takes over, and the world carries on as it is. So that's coming out. That's two books. So that's the Approach to Human Civilization in the Qur'an. That should be published like I would say probably in a month or so. And the other one, A Man and Allah's Justice on Earth, that will be shall publish maybe within the next 6 months, because I'm still typing up the last bit of it and needs to be proofread and so forth. But maybe the next 6 months, inshallah. Yeah, I think I have some other projects, but I think I'll talk about those at a later date.